The tranquil and secure neighborhood of Willow Creek was shaken to its core when a young girl named Emily vanished without a trace from her family home. Emily was just 8 years old, and her disappearance sent shockwaves throughout the community. The police relentlessly searched for clues, but their efforts were fruitless. Emily had vanished into thin air, but Emily was not gone. She was being held captive by a depraved man named Henry, who resided in an old, shabby home on the outskirts of town. Henry was a recluse who had lived there for years, and he had a sickening penchant for torturing his victims before killing them. Emily was one of many. Initially, Henry kept her locked in a windowless room, rationing her meager portions of food and water. She was alone, terrified, and cried herself to sleep every night. As time passed, Henry began to visit her, bringing with him a twisted grin and a bag full of torture devices. He would tie her up, cut her with knives, and burn her with hot coals. Emily screamed until her throat was raw, but no one could hear her cries. Days turned into weeks, and weeks turned into months. Emily lost track of time and herself. She was nothing but a shell of her former self, clinging to life in the face of unimaginable horror. Then one day, something changed. Henry departed, leaving Emily alone with the door to her room unlocked. She saw her chance to escape. Emily pushed herself up from the floor, her body weak and sore. She stumbled to the door, her fingers fumbling with the lock. She could hear Henry in another room, talking to someone on the phone. She knew she didn't have much time. Finally, the lock clicked open, and Emily burst out of the room, running as fast as she could down the hallway. She heard Henry's footsteps behind her, chasing her down. But she was faster, fueled by the desperation to survive. She made it to the front door, flinging it open and basking in the bright sunlight outside. She took a deep breath, feeling the fresh air fill her lungs. She was free. As she turned, she saw Henry standing in the doorway, a dark look in his eyes. He raised his hand, holding a knife. Emily screamed, but it was too late. The last thing she saw was the glint of the knife blade before everything went black. Henry had caught her, and she was his victim once again. The Willow Creek neighborhood was never the same again. People locked their doors at night, afraid of what could be lurking in the shadows. The police searched for Emily's body, but it was never found. Henry continued to live in his old, run-down house, free to continue his reign of terror. And Emily remained missing, a specter haunting the memories of all those who knew her. A wicked reminder of the horrors that can lurk just beneath the surface of a quiet, peaceful neighborhood.